All right, we are back here. Annual tradition here on the podcast, pop culture party for all the headlines from pop culture of the year. Joined as always by pop culture team. First up, our pop culture correspondent. Let's talk to her actually last week doing the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Sam Derosa is here. Sam, how are you?
Great. Thanks for having me back. 4 years running. So exciting.
Absolutely. Also with us here, our resident film critic. We last talked, I think, previewing fall movies along doing some NFL picks in there. Jon Stanko.
Yep.
Jon, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, doing my fantastic. We only got the thumb left. This is our fourth. We only got the thumb left. Next year we can put up the full hand.
Yeah,
that's my favorite number.
This is exciting.
Yeah, we're good. We only do this right now.
Yeah, we can only do the Vulcan death grip, if you will. But then we could eventually go to the 5.
Yeah, you can do the 5 here. So in case you haven't noticed here, I mentioned the top here, we're going to go through the entire year pop culture, do some headlines, talk about some of the best shows, best movies, all the fun stuff here. So then I read the plugs at the top of the show here. So we go to some headlines first here. So Stanko, as the movie guy, start us out here with the Oscar fiasco.
Is it bad to call this maybe the highlight of my year? The Oscar slap? Is this a bad place to start off? Was the internet ever more entertaining and unified than this moment right here? Every single social media platform you went on was talking about it. Everyone had a theory, an iconic live television moment that will literally live on forever. Nobody's going to forget this. I mean, this was pop culture at its finest. Everyone reacting, everyone writing recaps, everyone analyzing the video, memes being made of it, etc.
People getting whether it was staged or not.
Right. An all-time classic. Feel bad for Questlove. I mean, he had his speech, definitely the fire took it out of it, if you will, but he handled it like a pro. I mean, it saved the Oscars. Let's be real. It's the only reason people care. The only reason people are going to care about this year is to see if they bring it up again. An all-time moment to slap. All time.
Yeah, and Sam, 2 things to add here. Number 1, obviously, Will Smith winning the Best Oscar Award like a half hour later. That also was added the drama here, which is insane. And number 2, they got to bring Chris Rock in as the host next year, don't they?
Why didn't he do it this year? I bet you he turned it down. They had to ask him with a blank check being, what do you want? And he had to be like, no.
Yeah.
No way. Like Chris Rock is like trying to I feel like get back to Chris Rock. He has like a Netflix special now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's coming out. Yeah.
Special because of the slap. But other than that, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was really entertaining to me. But thinking back on it, I thought that shit happened in 2021.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
it feels like so long ago. I was like, whatever. I mean, memes, everything that came out of it, hilarious. But then I went right out my mind.
Yeah, well, it's iconic. I think the new iconic thing right now we got to also talk about here is what's happened with Twitter since Elon Musk bought it here. And Sam, I know you're not a big Twitter person, but have you been following the insanity that Elon has been ringing on the internet?
Oh yeah, having to listen to that at work all the time has been something else. But my favorite is when he took away the verification or anybody can be verified, and everybody was just paying the $8 to be verified. I thought that was so funny. Yeah. I was like, what Twitter cultivated in so long, how many steps you have to get to verified was just destroyed within a minute. It was amazing.
Stanko, what was your favorite verification fiasco? Was it the Eli Lilly account saying that insulin was free? Was it the people pretending to be journalists? What was your favorite? I
think there was one with Nintendo, which they made the account seem super formula or whatever. They made it seem corporate, but then they just started tweeting off absolutely random things. And obviously it's kids who are looking up Nintendo stuff on Twitter. And so that sent off a whole roller coaster of stuff. That was probably my favorite one. I mean, the whole thing is absolutely crazy. Elon shutting down accounts for tracking his private jets. Meanwhile, he's all about free speech. Don't want to get too political on this podcast, but there's a ton of hypocrisy in the world, and Elon Musk might be on Mount Rushmore right now. So, I mean, I love Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time. It hasn't affected me that much because I'm not that important, but he put up that poll saying, should he step down as CEO? Everyone said yes, at least the poll did. He said he would. He's been pretty silent after that poll as of when we're taping. We don't really know what he's up to now.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sam, I did enjoy also when he did the whole thing about how they're being banned, they're doxing me. Then he goes to the World Cup final and they post a picture of himself there. And it's yeah, you should ban yourself. You're doxing your own location.
Yeah. I mean, he's I don't know, but Elon Musk, right? You buy Twitter, and Twitter is the most trolly place you can be on social media, right?
It is a cesspool. It's a cesspool.
Yeah, New York porch sports. People, real journalists have quoted from New York porch sports. It's a hard word to say for me today.
And ball sack sports.
Yeah, it's like all it's this people making fake headlines, and I'm like, yo, check what you're seeing. Like New York Yankees with a J got a few people, and it's hilarious. And I'm just like, but then that's what you just purchased. Of course, people are gonna troll you and be like, yeah, get the hell out of here, kind of deal. Like it's hilarious. Like, what did he think he was gonna accomplish?
Yes, Jon Stanko, I'll point this out here is that I've seen this story a lot here is that like I think it was like the World Hunger Organization basically went up to Elon Musk. He's basically told him at one point, it's like, oh, like if you tell me how to end world hunger and give me a price tag, I'll do it. They came out with a plan. He decided to buy Twitter instead. This tells you what a man-child this person is.
I mean, this proves that you can have a lot of money. You could be successful in some things, but it doesn't make you a good business leader or a good business person. Sometimes you just get lucky. I mean, like, I don't think anyone's buying Elon Musk stock right now. Like he had everything with Tesla, and then within 3 months, his opinion in public has kind of went downhill really fast.
Have you seen the Tesla stock the last few days?
I can't say I keep up to date on my stocks, especially on vacation, Mike. What are the stocks at?
It is plummeting.
Okay, well then there you go. I mean, there's not much to look forward to with Elon Musk. It's not happy right now. I mean, again, I don't think it's really affected people on the app on a day-to-day basis if you're not super important. But when you see reporters and journalists leaving right away and stuff like that getting affected, it has a real impact. And social media continually evolves. I just hope this one doesn't become extinct.
Yes, Sam, I know you're on more platforms than I am. Have you opened a Mastodon account yet?
What'd you say?
Have you opened a Mastodon account yet?
No, I did not. I'm not that quick with the times.
Yeah, I haven't opened Mastodon either, so that's on my to-do list. So we'll see if that ends up being necessary. But
you let us know how that goes, Mike. You let us know.
Well, I did open a second Twitter account for the Sky Guys podcast. So like now I'm running 2 Twitter accounts. So you want to follow along at Sky Guys podcast, you want to come on for the ride. We're talking all our Star Wars stuff over there.
Hashtag shameless plug.
Yeah, hashtag professional plug.
Yep. Plug here. And speaking of unprofessional plugs here, Stanko, Taylor Swift puts out a new album, but then we have a disaster of this concert sale.
Okay, well, let's just get this out first. Album, fantastic. The extended edition of the album, sublime. Sublime. Anyways, the Ticketmaster fiasco, it was World War III where I work at Barstool. Like, people were literally screaming down the halls, asking if they were in a queue. This was actually happening. I was in a queue at work. There were 2 other people in my office in a queue at work. We were battling. This caused a legit family argument amongst my household, amongst my sisters. We are feuding about Ticketmaster and Taylor Swift. This whole thing is worldwide pandemonia, and Ticketmaster sucks. That's the one unifying force. Everyone hates them. Nobody likes them. They are the worst. Yeah. They have the United States government unifying to go against them. That's how bad they are. They're terrible.
Yeah. The Democrats and Republicans can't agree on anything, but they agree Ticketmaster sucks.
Right. Exactly. It's absolutely preposterous. Like, my biggest question is, when is Taylor Swift going to be like, I'm going to get my own ticket service for my own concerts? Because I could do it, because I have the fans who will come with me, and I could control the whole entire thing.
Oh, so
she definitely could. Absolutely. I would follow her to the ends of the earth and then off the earth. It's fine.
I'm guessing you did not get tickets.
No, I did.
Through the queue, you got them by secondary market.
I bought them. So, I mean, long story short, my sister and I were entered into the lottery. I didn't win in the lottery, but my sister did. But she chose Gillette Stadium to be her venue, but she lives in Minnesota. So then she couldn't afford for all the flights to get out here for the concert because she wanted to do a whole family reunion thing with me and the 3 sisters. But however, she couldn't afford it. So then I took the tickets because I was the one in line for the queues. But then she's bitter because I have the tickets, even though it was her account and her luck. But I was the one in line waiting. And so it's a whole fiasco. We don't talk about it in the Stanko household anymore. It's literally banned from talking. We agreed. We're now bringing it up. I'm not sending any pictures of the concerts to my sisters because of this.
Wow.
Ticketmaster caused real family strife at the Stanko household.
Yeah, Sam, did you either listen to the album or try and get tickets to Taylor Swift this year?
Stanko, we agree on a lot of things. And I never liked, and I will never like Taylor Swift music except for like 1 song, maybe 2. Not here.
That's less people in the Ticketmaster queue for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, don't worry, I wasn't taking up any tickets or anything, but yeah, not like I don't like her. I think she's an amazing artist, but like my thing is just like, nah, whatever. I was unaffected by this at all, and I feel like I was such a small minority of people who are like, whatever, like, hey, feel bad for you. Glad this isn't happening to me. So.
Yeah, like my sister was trying to get tickets for it, so I helped. Like she had 3 separate laptops going with like lottery queues. She did get tickets that like somehow. Like it took like about 4 hours to get tickets from like when the pre-sale started.
It's crazy.
Prices
There were
were-
so many angry young women on the internet. The demographics of 18 to 30-year-old women who I saw furious on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter was astronomical.
Yeah, it did break the internet here. And that was, speaking of like things that sort of took over the pop culture space here. Sam, do we have to discuss this Johnny Depp, this Amber Heard thing again?
Yeah. I mean, it was a big part of this year.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big deal, Stank. I feel like this was like not wall-to-wall news cards like 2 weeks. I was just sitting there just going, why?
It was crazy. I mean, the thing is, there are people literally on TikTok reporting things on an hourly basis about developments of the case. This is insane. It took over my TikTok algorithm. I was following along, like reading some news articles about recaps of the day. It infiltrated my TikTok algorithm, and I was getting these random fans of both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trying to defend each other. I was at one point, this is a true story. I was at one point in an airport, waiting for a connecting flight, waited for 2 hours on layover. 2 women in front of me at a coffee shop were live streaming the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial with an AirPod in each ear. Like they were sharing one screen, both listening, focusing on that while drinking coffee. This is a true story.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It took over people's minds. And I mean, just from a wide angle view, I think Amber Heard came out pretty bad based off the things she said. She was just proved wrong in some cases. Though with that being said, Johnny Depp is still kind of a slimy person for sure. So like, I think it hurt both of their careers. I think it hurt Amber Heard more on a personal level than a professional level. But will they both bounce back? Probably. But again, Amber Heard, Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure she's not in the Aquaman sequel because of some of this drama and stuff like that.
I think she's still in. I don't think they recast her.
Oh, so she's still in it, but she's going to be booted with the James Gunn, whatever. She's getting shooed away.
She's getting shooter. As soon as she gets shooter away here. I mean, Johnny Depp got like taken out of the Fantastic Beasts franchise because
that's what he was suing about, is lost monetary cost to his career or whatever.
Yeah.
And frankly, Mads Mikkelsen was a better freaking whatever Grindelwald than he was.
Yeah, I did confirm Amber Heard is still in Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, which is the last Aquaman film pre-DC reboot.
So you got Ezra Miller and Amber Heard in the next two of the next DC movies.
No, he's still in it.
Oh no,
They didn't take him. That's the terrible oversight.
We're getting to that one. That's like coming up soon. That's the way.
Like it's DC and Warner Brothers. Like Mike said, they're in a pickle. We'll get to that eventually.
Yeah, we'll get to that eventually here. And Sam, we covered this one on the podcast this year. Stranger Things 4 had a big moment this year. I feel like it was like dominant for like 2 months. I feel like it sort of faded in the background all of a sudden. Never seen that happen before this show.
Like, yeah, I mean, honestly, I was okay. So today at work, in my like 5 minutes for lunch, I'm like talking to like my young PAs because I'm like, give me insight to like fun things I've missed this year in 2022 because I feel like I'm old now. And they're like, oh yeah, like my favorite was Stranger Things 4. I'm not gonna lie to you, I totally forgot this even happened. We had so many discussions on Stranger Things 4, and yet that right out of the brain, right out. But it was like so good, and how did like that's just how many things came out this year.
I have a question for you guys who've watched Stranger Things 4, because I have not seen it. I'll be honest. I will watch it eventually, but I didn't love seasons 2 and 3, so I haven't like wanted to keep up. Do you think it's because of the binge model? Because they dropped them? It was 2 separate drops, but they dropped all the episodes at once. You look at the other big powerhouse shows this year, the Rings of Power, House of the Dragon, Andor, week by week, and generated conversation throughout the week.
We're still talking
Stranger
about
Things didn't do that.
Yeah, Stranger Things is like literally like a comet. It came in really hot. We had it, and then this is not usual, like because we had the 2 drops. So like I remember about like 3 weeks of excitement after the first one. We had to build up the second one. The second one was about like a week, then like gone. Like it didn't stick in people's minds.
No, I agree. I don't know, like going back to the binge thing, like I love binging, but then again, like I don't know, Netflix has to figure their stuff out because what they're doing is like the weekly, they're releasing like a couple episodes per week with reality shows mostly and nothing else. Not like, like The Witcher, they just release like right away and everything. But like, I don't know. I feel like they're really missing out on an opportunity like HBO does, what Hulu does.
Well, they're going to claim, Stanko, that's their model. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch their stuff. And I feel like they're going to say that makes us different. But at the same time, like that model requires you to put out a lot of good stuff to keep yourself in the mainstream.
It does, and I don't think Netflix has put out a consistent stream of good stuff, frankly, this year. I wasn't impressed by that much of their original stuff, and they might hear from people when they hear, oh, no password sharing next year? Great, I'll just drop it. Like, my sisters are going to drop it. My parents are like, do we need Netflix? My sisters were like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm gonna pay for it because I'm a psychopath. But like people are gonna fall by the wayside when they realize the content is not as good as it once was. And when you're just churning stuff out every week just to get eyeballs and not to get retention.
I mean, I gotta find the list of like some of the stuff that I end up watching on Netflix this year. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, like saying they're not keeping Netflix for like Is It Cake or like Easy Bake Battle or all these like random shows they're sort of throwing out there. It's like
like the weird like makeup ones, or like I don't know. There's just so many like
there's
I
a lot.
don't watch The Circle anymore. Like I'm not gonna watch this new season. Like I'm done. Like it has been played out. I watched Love Is Blind. That barely kept any of my attention. So I'm like, if they really do crack down, like, yeah, like, you know, there was certain shows like Wednesday, like whatever, that I really enjoyed. But other than that, I'm like, okay, so maybe I'll keep it for Stranger Things 5, but that's not coming out for 2 years.
It's a thing I can see where you could just like unsubscribe, sign up again when that's coming out, like Umbrella Academy season 4 comes out, you know, and then sort of drop out again.
Yeah, especially now it's so easy to like, you know, hack things and like stream illegally.
Yeah.
If you're going to be that crazy about it, I'm paying you right now. Like, don't make me not pay you.
Yeah, because I'm looking, because the other thing here is like there's a lot of stupid shows they're putting out on Netflix now, and there's also a lot of they're leaning way heavily into the docu-series. There's a lot more of those I've seen than they had in the past.
Yeah,
those vary.
Okay, but
yeah, those vary a lot from quite good to quite bad. Again, no consistency with what they're putting out.
Yeah, we'll get to Netflix a bit later here in terms of what else we got going on here. Stanko, Kanye West is canceled, right?
I would say Kanye West is canceled, Mike. You know what? I'm going to get off my pedestal and say Kanye West is a bad guy. Can we all agree here? Kanye West, not a good person.
Yeah, it's not that big a surprise. He hasn't been a good person and now just solidified and underlined and bolded all of his crappy freaking beliefs.
Right. I mean, when he went on the Alex Jones show like a couple weeks ago, and he made Alex Jones cringe. You know how hard that is to do?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's the same guy who said Newtown shooting was fake. And meanwhile, he's the one who's freaking out telling Kanye to calm down about the Jewish conspiracies. It's nuts. It's crazy. And he's running for president. And like his main political advisor is an alt-right guy who's like believes in the Jewish like mafia movement or whatever. It's crazy. Like I genuinely try and avoid Kanye content because everything come out of it. My thought is Kanye is stupid. Why do people care? He's insane. He needs help. He does. But he's not going to do it because he's not going to be willing to say he's wrong about stuff. He is absolutely insane. And let's not forget when he like went after Pete Davidson this year, dating Kim Kardashian, and that whole drama as well. That was nuts.
Yeah. I don't think he even has custody of his kids. Like I think
he shouldn't.
Yeah, I totally agree.
The kids probably forgot his face because Kanye always wears a covering now anyway.
That's so true. I literally thought that was like a doctored video. Like I saw a snippet and then I watched the entire interview and I was like sick to my stomach.
People are stupid and Kanye right now is at the top of the list. It's absolutely insane.
Oh,
I literally liked all his songs. Like I went through my playlist and unliked all his songs on Spotify.
He's reached a point where you can't separate the artist from the music. People can say that like this is bad. People say that about Michael Jackson, though. He's the artist, though. The songs are great or whatever. Like, maybe as time passes, people can start separating them again. But as of right now, when you hear Kanye's song, your first reaction is, shit, he's a bad person. Yep. Like, that is your gut reaction.
Yeah. It's scary. It's scary because I don't think he realizes just how many people he influences.
Yeah.
But that's
I think he does, and he just doesn't care.
Oh,
I think so. That's what I think.
I do have... I got to interrupt you too. I do have some little breaking news on this podcast because
breaking news.
We talked about this earlier. Right now, Twitter is down.
Is it really?
It is down.
Oh no.
That was good. We thought he broke Twitter.
Oh no. Okay. All right. Well, that's not great.
Yeah. Look, I was going to check something on Twitter. I'm like, wait, why isn't that letting me refresh and log in? I log out. I go on Google. Yeah, so Twitter's down right now.
Good talk. All right. Well, Elon's at it again. Maybe the people he's fired and trying to bring back. I don't know.
Yeah.
8:50 p.m. on a Wednesday evening.
Yeah, we'll see if by the time this podcast comes out on Friday, if it's back up. I assume it will be, but you never know.
That'd be terrible. What am I gonna view when I'm bored in certain places? Not work though. Not work.
Never.
Is that what you have TikTok for?
TikTok, you need audio. Twitter, you don't need audio.
Bluetooth speakers. I mean, Bluetooth headphones. Sorry.
Could do that.
All right, let's go to the prestige show situation here, because Sam is the only one on this panel who's seen all three of these. Give me the power ranking here: House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, Andor.
I don't like this game. I don't like making decisions first and foremost. But maybe because of the hype, I'm gonna put Rings of Power, House of Dragon, Andor, and I'm sticking with that because I've been told I need to make more decisions in my life, and here I am. So I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm not gonna give any like oops, but that's what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, Sam has seen 3. Stanko, you've seen 2 of the 3. You have not gotten to Andor yet, but like of the Rings of Power versus House of Dragon, which one do you like better?
Rings of Power, baby. I'm with you. Rings of Power. House of the Dragon, I'll be honest, a little bit let down. It was good, very good at some points, but there are some points I was like, I don't find this entertaining. So Rings of Power for me, I dove so much more into that lore. Maybe I'm simple, maybe classic good versus evil, maybe it's laid out more plainly, but I was able to dig in more. I thought the visuals were insane. I thought the last 3 episodes of Rings of Power, once that volcano explodes, if you know, then you know, the last 3 episodes leading to Galadriel's realization about who Sauron is was absolutely incredible. At the finale of Rings of Power, me and my fiance were shook it to the core. We didn't move for 5 minutes after it was ended. We just were like, holy shit. Like, Rings of Power for me blew me out of the water in terms of Amazon Prime putting out content like that. Amazon Prime puts out good shows, man. They know what they're doing. Their videos, their movies might not always hit, but their TV shows, right now they're clicking, and they're clicking pretty good.
Yeah, I decided to get to some of these here. Obviously, I'll be the Andor guy here because obviously that was the one I watched for Sky Guys podcast. Sam came on Sky Guys in episode with us here. Like, best Star Wars content in a long time. It definitely belongs in the category with these 2 shows.
What have you sacrificed lately, Mike? What have you sacrificed lately?
I've not sacrificed enough, clearly.
Clearly not. I'm going to get to Andor. I just finished The Wire with Emma. And so Andor is next on my list of shows to watch now that I finally finished The Wire. So getting there, it'll be done by the end of January. That's what I can promise you.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten it's getting awards buzz too. I mean, Diego Luna has gotten a Golden Globe nom for Best Actor. It got a bunch of, I forget what the other award was. I think it was People's Choice or Critics' Choice for like Best Drama Series and a couple acting noms. You never see acting noms out of Star Wars, Stanko.
Where does it rank compared to The Mandalorian?
I think it's better.
Way higher.
It's different.
It's not what you're gonna expect you're gonna watch, because I had some qualms.
I'm expecting, frankly, like a Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Identity shit, because Tony Gilroy's involved, I'm pretty sure, right? And yes, so I'm expecting some hardcore espionage. I don't take no prisoner stuff.
Yeah, you get that.
Love that. Yeah. Love that. But if it's better than season 1 of The Mandalorian, or season 2,
yeah, I think it is better.
How many more tiers is it above Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Like at least 5.
Great. Okay. Good.
We'll get to more of the Star Wars stuff in a second. I'll also keep you updated throughout the podcast as Twitter comes back. We'll see. We'll have that be our running thread here on this one. But another thing here we have to talk to about Stanko. The Top Gun Maverick, the top grossing movie of the year here. What
the fuck, Sam? Get the fuck out of here with that thumbs down. Stop it. Stop. You not love America?
It was so stupid.
What is wrong with you? Do you not like entertainment and adrenaline and America?
I was bored out of my freaking
You are bored with jets flying at Mach 9 going through the sky? Tom Cruise defying death?
Yep. Bored. You know what? The build up. Do you know how long the action was this much?
There's action throughout when Tom Cruise is taking down these punk pilots who think they know how to fly, and the fucking rock music starts going on in the background, and he's just cutting through them and emasculating all of them. That was incredible. And his practice run through he's like fucking pod racing his way through the mountains, and he gets in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. You kidding me?
No.
Shoving John Hamm up his ass?
No, I hated that movie. It was terrible.
Mike.
Hot take, baby. Hot take.
Mike.
I'm with you, Stanko. That movie is
phenomenal. Thank you.
Yeah.
Listen, I freaking love action movies. I'll be the first to say it. But I was like sitting there like, is this movie over? When are we going to get to
It's not an action movie. It's not an action movie.
What is it, an America movie?
Yes! Exactly. It's a Tom Cruise, I am going to bank on myself movie. And guess what? He took all that money to the bank and he's going to take Oscar wins with it too.
That is not an Oscar-worthy movie.
Oh, it is definitely an Oscar. Are you kidding me?
I'm riding this freaking hill. Frick no, man.
I'm gonna blow you off this hill with Tom Cruise.
with the jet, the Tom.
You didn't like the beach scene? They all got 8-packs. They're playing football with 2 balls.
How many TikToks did you see with them complaining how much work it took? And they're like, I hated it.
I don't give a shit. They're getting paid millions of dollars to look good like that. I don't care.
You know who I loved in that movie? Bill Pullman's son.
Sure. I love everything about that movie. When Tom Cruise says he has jet fuel in his blood and he was born with it, tells Miles Teller to grow up and be a man about being poisoned by jet fuel. Come on.
Yeah.
And Colin Powell looking like a handsome son of a bitch that he is.
Plus, can we mention here how great Val Kilmer was in the movie too?
Cried. I cried 3 times during that movie.
Whatever.
My fiance cried.
Yeah.
No, she was just being nice to you.
No.
I watched it with 5 people. They all cried too.
Yes.
I was so bored.
Do you not listen to Danger Zone off the reg at least once a month and then go Danger Zone?
No, stupid Kenny Loggins is the reason why I was losing my mind when that came over.
Stanko, this is why I was on the top of the rundown.
I'm blowing out your microphone, Mike, but I don't care because this is
I'm firmly team Stanko on this.
Insane take.
I'm firmly team Stanko on this one.
You are the only American I know. You're the only person I know to not like Top Gun Maverick.
I was bored. What can I say?
Made $1.5 billion in the top movie of the year.
It saved cinema. It saved the movie theaters.
Cinema. It did not save cinema. Especially when you had movies like Avatar coming out, Stanko.
This movie is better than Avatar. It is better movie than Avatar. And I've seen both. This is a better movie than Avatar.
Maybe I needed an audience when I watched it, but no freaking way.
I mean,
I watched
you could have
it.
watched it with me. I would have been grabbing your hand and being like, that's so cool. I would have been amping you up.
I mean, the thing for me with this movie I loved also is the fact that they actually trained all the actors on flight training so they could be in the cockpits and literally do this, get the actual practical effects of them, like experiencing 0 Gs and getting up there and in these thin atmosphere. Like that really adds as opposed to all this being CGI crap.
Yeah, this is practical effects. Practical.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is good. Tom Cruise dominated this summer. He's going to dominate next summer when he defies death again with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Like, Tom Cruise right now is owning Hollywood.
I hate Tom Cruise. I'm going to say it right now. I hate that guy.
Maybe you're a little biased then.
He's an odd cat.
Yeah, I literally look at his face and I'm like, this guy needs to be punched in the face. You know the scene from Step Brothers? Like, you want to punch me in the face. Like, that's me with Tom Cruise. I want to punch him in the face. I just don't like his face. It's like, what can I do to change it? No, it's just your face. You can't do anything. Like, it's that whole Step Brothers scene, like, as well.
I completely forgot about a part of Top Gun Maverick that's incredible. Jennifer Connelly, the hottest human alive in that movie. Oh my God. Stunning grace and sexiness while piloting a boat, steering a boat. When she leaves the door open for Top Gun Maverick after he drove her home, that was the hottest thing I've ever seen. I looked at my fiance and we both went, that's so hot. That really happened.
Plus, you can also mention Lady Gaga's single at the end of the movie too.
Right. That's probably a front runner for Best Original Song at the Oscars too.
Yeah.
We'll actually probably Wakanda Forever, but still.
Yeah, Wakanda Forever is going to be up there for that, I think.
Right.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit.
Damn, I'm sweating. You made me sweat. It's 20 degrees outside. We don't have the heat on, and I am sweating in my house right now.
Yeah. You triggered Stanko.
What can I say? That's why you bring me on, correct?
Yes. That is why you're on, to offer the takes to get Stanko very angry.
Perfect. I'm sure I have a few more.
All right. Let's go to the last big news item of the year. I feel like if we get this individual like franchises and services and whatnot, HBO Max, Warner Brothers fiasco here. We'll include DC in this because this whole thing is getting rebooted here. Stanko, so many angles here. Where do you want to start with this?
I mean, you start with them. They were going to combine Discovery and HBO Max, right? They finally settled on a name, but I believe they're calling it just Max, which I actually don't hate. But the thing with this is the DC reboot is probably the biggest thing to come out of it, even though it's probably lower on my totem pole. But in terms of the way Warner Brother makes money, the DC is what's going to get them out of the red. Because right now they're hemorrhaging money. They're taking movies off their platform. They took Westworld off HBO Max to sell it to other television channels to stream. They're deep down bad. And they hired James Gunn to try and resurrect this thing from the dead. And it's already having massive ripple effects about what the next years are going to be. And there's a ton of pressure on the DC movies, which have historically not been consistent or good. And they need to resurrect Warner Brothers from the dead. And which is kind of crazy when you consider the history of Warner Brothers and stuff like that. I love the HBO Max app. I hope it doesn't change that much, but it's going to. And DC is the only thing that's going to help maybe keep Warner Brothers afloat. But when you got sinking ships like Ezra Miller and Amber Heard and stuff like that going on, it's going to be really hard.
Yeah, Sam, a couple of things I want to point out here, obviously, is like, number one, they call the content banger movie. I mean, they were canceling movies that are basically done. I mean, the Batwoman movie was canceled.
Great. Yep.
Completely done. It was just like in post-production, they canceled a couple other projects they were working on here. And like the fact is crazy. And they're pulling stuff off of the stuff, the Westworld like fiasco there too. I mean, this is just like insane to think about. Like a streaming company 2020 blowing as bad as they have.
No, truly. And the funny thing is, I'm weirdly, now Stanko, judge me all you want, one of my biggest comfort movies is Scooby-Doo 2, the live action, right?
Yep.
So the
Monsters Unleashed?
No,
Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed?
Yeah, comfort movie, man. I'm not saying it's a great movie. I'm saying it's a comfort movie.
I like the first one. I'll give you that.
I just straight am like sitting there like I feel safe and happy watching this ridiculous movie. But James Gunn directed the second movie, Monsters Unleashed. So that man who directed that movie, he's,
to be fair, that's not his fault. Like he's doing DLC. He's not canceling Scooby-Doo.
Right.
I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is like that man who made that movie is like, it's like all of our eggs are in his basket, basically. But like, I truly think that HBO, whoever decided to take Batgirl off when Brendan Fraser wins, I haven't seen the movie, so this is like, hearsay.
Well, nobody's seen it.
They're gonna be like kicking themselves in the ass because like, he's gonna be the up and up, the new actor coming up on the up and up because he was canceled and now he's back. Now, who knows with everything going on, Ezra Miller's a little of a lost cause, but maybe with Amber Heard, like, it's like everybody has a resurgence, correct? You know what I mean? Like everybody gets their time as long as they're not like, literal crazy person. So I'm thinking like, you're canceling all these things now. It's going to have repercussions down the line. So maybe it looks like a good idea now. You're going to get your ass in trouble later on. But that's just like my, little, what's that word? I'm sorry, my neighbor is being so loud right now, and I am just like, what the hell is going on? My hypothesis, and I have ADD, I apologize, but do you not hear that?
No, we do not hear that.
Nope, I don't hear it.
Hammering, but not hammering. It's just like on the floor, and I think it might be her dog, so I apologize for my I literally can't focus right now. But anyway, literally, my guess is that it's just all of these decisions now are going to bite them in the ass later on down the line. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but in the years to come.
Well, first of all, Sam, thank you for the TED Talk. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And number two, I mean, Stanko, we talk about the budget here, some of these things. I mean, like they had no money at the end of the year. They only put out 2 movies. They shifted a bunch out of this year. I think Shazam was supposed to be this year. They pushed it out. Aquaman, the Last King was supposed to be this year. They pushed it out. They only enough money to promote 2 movis. One was Don't Worry, Darling, which I'll let you get to in a second. The other one was Black Adams, and neither one of them worked out.
No. They may have worked out for just public awareness cause, especially Don't Worry, Darling. There was a lot of people talking about it, just not a lot of people necessarily seeing the movie, which kind of you want to have if you're Warner Brothers. They made a couple big bets this year. One of them, the director turned out to not be a great person, and Florence Pugh ended up stealing all the headlines and being fantastic. And I agree with you, Sam, on that one. We can agree. We can agree on Florence Pugh. Let's get her in the next Top Gun movie, and then maybe we change your mind. But then you have Black Adam, which was fine, but not that great of a movie, and was a bit disappointing, both critically and at the box office. So they're struggling right now, and the 2 movies they banked on didn't do a lot. And the superheroes that they have coming next year, like Shazam and stuff like that, their stories might be arriving dead on the water because of everything James Gunn's going to redo. So they postponed the inevitable drop off a cliff for at least a year, so maybe they can build a safety net. But the thing is, there's no guarantee they can't. So things could possibly get worse next year if they can't fix things.
Think about that for a second, though. They had a superhero movie with The Rock, and they couldn't make a profit.
Right. And it was The Rock's pet project. He had been wanting to do this for years. He got Henry Cavill back to do a post-credit scene, right? They're bringing Superman back.
That was the biggest BS.
Yeah.
You make him like quit The Witcher to become Superman. Like, guess what? We're gonna go in a different direction. And now he's not gonna come back to The Witcher, which I enjoyed that show, and now I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and Sam, in terms of the Westworld thing here, I don't think I'm very annoyed with how that saga played out because I know the show was kind of going downhill a little bit. They had one season left. HBO almost never does this, where they sort of cancel the show so they can get their natural ending here. And like, this is a show that like was not promoted at all during the year. I mean, you never saw any big ads like, "Oh, Westworld's coming back. I gotta check it out." Like nothing. It was, of course, it was gonna get canceled. It had very bad ratings, but like back now they had to pull it off HBO Max and they're gonna sell the rights to it. That sort of bothers me how that went.
That, I don't know. It's just like, it's kicking you when you're down, basically. Yep. I don't know. I don't know who's making these decisions in the upper tiers, but I'm just very interested to see what they're going to do next. I can't even guess because I feel like it's going to be so unhinged.
Yep.
With that being said, though, HBO's got a couple huge TV shows next year. Succession's coming back. They can ride the wave. They got The Last of Us coming out in January, which a lot of people are hyped about, including myself. They still have TV shows coming back where they're going to get some buzz. And they got a little bit back with House of the Dragon. So like HBO TV shows, they kind of had a re-up at the end. Also White Lotus at the end of this year too. People love that. So there's momentum for the TV side for HBO and Warner Brothers and stuff like that moving into the next year. It's more the movie side that I'm really worried about, especially with the streaming service.
Yeah, and the DC thing, I want to touch on this real quick before we get to see HBO proper as a whole to our like highs of the year for HBO, Stanko. I mean, like, we saw this year, the only movie that really put out was Black Adam. It did not land whatsoever here. James Gunn gets basically brought in to reboot the whole thing. And like, he ends up basically throwing out everybody here. Like everything's getting canceled. Wonder Woman is canceled. 3, I think, Aquaman's getting, like, all the actors basically getting thrown out here. Sounds like the rumors like use the Flash to sort of act as a reset and sort of like reboot the whole thing going on here. And then we don't know what he's keeping. We don't know what's going on with Peacemaker, where that's going to keep going here. All these people in the Suicide Squad. There's a lot of interesting things here. It's very questionable also to feel like this guy is just a director. Asking him to oversee the entire like cinematic universe feels like a big risk.
Yes, but with that being said, the movies that he's made with superheroes have all been successful. Guardians of the Galaxy, everyone loves those. Suicide Squad, which he had a hand in as well, was also quite good, right? I mean, didn't he direct that one as well? And that was one that took people by surprise.
The second one, the first one was
right. The second one. I'm talking about the Idris Elba, John Cena one. Yep. Like, that's what I'm talking about. He was also part of Peacemaker, which, spoiler, is on my best things from HBO this year. I fucking love that show. That show was great. Yeah. So I think he knows what it's like to build a project and to be behind the camera. It's a different thing to be behind the desk. Yes. And those skills might not directly correlate. We hope he's not like Elon Musk, where he has a lot of money, thinks he's smart, and then turns out he's not behind a desk. But I have faith that James Gunn will create entertaining products, whether or not they have the same synergy with each other as Marvel and as Feige created with his initial phases. That's a different story. But in terms of individual projects, I actually trust James Gunn to kind of steer the ship in the right direction.
Sam, I'd love to see James Gunn try something different, not just try and copy the Marvel model as DC tried to do, and then they tried to rush it. They didn't do it correctly. Like, I don't mind, like, I think he can get to a point with James Gunn and say, well, like, we could be more than one Superman. It could be more than one Batman. I mean, as long as you give me good stuff, I don't really care.
No, I agree. I feel like he has, I don't know. I think it's just going to be a different vision, and I'm hoping that it's done correctly. Again, I mean, I would love to see a Scooby-Doo reboot live action, but that's just me over here being a very small minority.
All right, let's go to HBO now in general here. So, Sam, I'll let you lead off here. Your top 5 things from HBO this year.
Okay, so I really enjoyed, and this is no particular order. I'm trying to like go through all of the things I've seen. I have, you know, little asterisks here for everyone listening. I have ingested so much media these past 2 weeks. I'm going to do my best of getting everything sorted out in this brain of mine. Really enjoyed the second season of Sex Lives of College Girls. That's a good one. I know I said this last year, and I'm sure you guys didn't watch it, but that's okay. We're gonna just
my fiance watches
season it. 2. And I'm sure she enjoyed it because it was funny. And like, I understand I'm talking with 2 of my male counterparts here, but for like some female watchers out there, which I'm hoping I speak to out there in the internet, but it's really funny, and it's really just it's just a little more hits closer to home. I really did enjoy The Staircase, which Mike, I finally got around to watching it. I told you a million times I would get there, and I did. Again, House of Dragon. Oh my God, White Lotus season 2, and I feel like I'm forgetting one that I really enjoyed, and I'm gonna bite myself in the butt not remembering.
And they had a lot of good TV shows this year.
Yeah, but I was actually very surprised about season 2 of White Lotus. I didn't know how Ned Schneebly, I know that's not his real name, but I will only call him by Ned Schneebly, how Ned Schneebly did it again. But I thought I really enjoyed the plot line.
For the record, Mike White, not the Jet quarterback, the actual filmmaker.
Yeah, Ned Schneebly is so much better.
Yeah. You know what? And if he ever does come across this clip or whatever, you know what I feel like? He'd be like, I respect that, because I feel like that's the kind of guy that he is.
Yeah, and I do say, like, I'll give you my top 5 list as well in terms of like stuff that when this includes HBO Max here. So I agree with Sam on The Staircase being on there. White Lotus season 2, which somehow I think is better than season 1. I feel like it's got, like, he does such a good job bringing in these people, and like the casting was so spot on this season, especially like some of the Italian actors they brought on the show. I thought that added a lot here. I'm going to also add here Peacemaker, which Jon Stanko I know agrees with. Westworld season 4, which I did think they sort of got themselves right here. And last but not least, Winning Time, I think, is on the list. I feel like Winning Time was phenomenal this year. I think it was my favorite HBO project of the whole year.
Fair enough. I haven't got to Winning Time yet, but I've heard good things about it. But
Yeah.
as I said, I agree with you with Peacemaker for sure.
Yeah, what else you got on your list?
House of the Dragon. I enjoyed that very much. I enjoyed the Batman the first time around. I enjoyed watching it again on HBO Max. I mean, it went to streaming there after movie theaters. I'm not upset about it saying that. Peacemaker. Station 11 is a carryover from 2021, but it was a weekly release type thing, and it ended in 2022. So I'm cheating and I'm stealing that. That was a great little series there. And the last one is an original documentary that they put out called Navalny, which is going to be up for Best Documentary at the Oscars. It made the short list about Alexei Navalny trying to take down Putin and getting on phone records wired, people admitting to trying to kill him, and him proving it in this documentary and talking to them on the phone. And it's an absolutely crazy look at the society that he's living in within Russia and the paranoia that he lives with. And then it ends with him getting arrested, and we haven't really heard from him since. So absolutely crazy story. So Navalny would be the original HBO thing I recommend most to people from this year, because it's one of my favorite 10 movies of the year, let alone just on HBO Max.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm looking forward to next year here too. I mean, Winning Time season 2 is coming next year. I talked to, I think, like last week, I talked to Jeff Perlman, the author of the book based on that show is based on here, and like he now has an EP on that show, and he said they have a lot of fun stuff in the hopper for season 2. They're working on it right now.
There you go. You got to get that second interview too.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how that one goes here. Let's go to now. I feel like we'll go to Netflix for a little bit. In terms of Netflix stuff here, Stank, I know you were not as big on the Netflix this year. What are your top 5 Netflix things?
I'm going to be honest. I couldn't get to 5 things from Netflix that I truly enjoyed this year. I got a couple, and I have a couple ones that I thought I would like and that I really didn't. In terms of the things I didn't love, the Redeem Team doc that everyone was talking about, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was out of this world. I gave it a B. I enjoyed my time, but it was exactly what I expected. It was nothing completely different besides an American basketball propaganda piece, which was to be expected, but not that great. The Gray Man, super disappointing action movie, not that great, followed by The Adam Project, a very disappointing action movie with Ryan Reynolds. So those movies there were supposed to be big ticket items. I mean, Ryan Gosling appeared in the movie for the first time in years with The Gray Man, and it ended up being kind of hot garbage. So didn't love that. But in terms of the good things I've watched, just watched Glass Onion, very good. Not as good as the original in 2019, but still excellent. The Good Nurse, Jessica Chastain, Eddie Redmayne, about a serial killer in a hospital. Love that one. And the best docuseries, Mike, you mentioned Netflix docuseries a little bit, how Netflix is just churning them out. This was a good one. Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey. My fiance recommended it to me. It's about the craziness of Mormonism and a guy leading a cult of Mormons and creating a fake heaven called Zion, which was actually just in Texas. Crazy thing. I love things that expose religion for being the farce that they can be to some people, etc. So when I see that on a grand scale and I see men who use their religious power to abuse people, I see them get exposed. I love that shit. So Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey is also up there in terms of my Netflix recommendations.
Yeah, before I go to Sam, real quick, I want to ask you about the sort of that theme here. Did you watch season 2 of The Vow on HBO?
Have not gotten there yet. We just finished The Wire, Mike. That is the next thing that my fiance and I are watching together. We will be starting that tomorrow.
I did watch that. They do a lot of fun. They do a lot of like insight into the trial of Keith Raniere and all that stuff. So they go deep into that. They do get some like bigger names who are just like sort of figures from season 1, sort of actually on town. Specifically, like Nancy Salzman is like a big interview figure throughout the season.
Oh, great. We didn't really hear from her much. We're excited for it. It kind of came and went, so I'm a little bit nervous that's not good because we heard nothing about it after it was released. But we loved the first season, so
it was kind of that. I mean, it was kind of that vacuum where it was sort of swallowed up by both House of the Dragon and White Lotus. So like it was sort of in that mix there.
You know what? That's a fair point.
Really, House of the Dragon and White Lotus started next week. So like the Vow came right between both of those.
Right. Well, we're gonna check it out. Well, I'll let you know what we think, but we're excited to watch some more shit people get put in jail.
Yeah. All right. That's for sure here. Sam, your top 5.
Okay, so I'm gonna be a little annoying. I'm gonna give you my top 4 because I feel like there's some that are very tied for 5. But anyway, I digress. Wednesday. I personally was not a huge Addams Family fan, but my friend recommended Wednesday to me, and I went with it, and I absolutely loved it. Very entertaining. It gets a little cheesy at some points and a little predictable, but if you just kind of go past that, it's totally fine. Number 2, I totally enjoyed the new season of The Crown. I'm a huge Crown fan. I was very excited for this year, especially with the Queen passing away, you know, like everything, like what they would do with it, if they would do anything different. They did not, and I'm happy about it. 3, I liked The Watcher. I know a lot of people did not enjoy The Watcher, and that is fine. But in episode 4 at minute 20 something, my DeChico's supermarket was featured, and that really boosted the ratings. And I was so excited. I'm not gonna lie to you, I am a big giant baby when it comes to anything scary. Absolutely anything. I'm sitting there with the blanket over almost to my eyes because I'm just scared. And then there's my DeChico's, and everything was well again. And I was just really excited. So if anybody wants a tour of my DeChico's, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. And then I'm just gonna go with my 4th one, which is Stranger Things 4. I liked a few other things. Like I did enjoy Love is Blind this season because it was so stupid that I enjoyed it. And that's where it is. So maybe I'll just throw them in there. But Stranger Things 4 was Stranger Things 4 season 4 was my favorite out of everything this season of TV.
Okay, 2 things here. Number 1, Umbrella Academy didn't make the cut for you.
It was good. It was good. It didn't hit where I wanted it to. I don't know. That's just me. I am going my unhinged at 9:18 p.m. feelings right now. You know, no prisoners taken.
Okay, that's number 2. I'm glad you actually got to the Watcher here because I did want to discuss it. Because like I watched this and I was sitting there the whole time, just literally just watching this thing, going, "Oh my god, this is so bad."
It was not that bad. It got bad. It was here, and then it took a very, very sharp decline down. But in the beginning, I was freaking scared.
The Watcher voice didn't take you out of it.
What didn't?
The Watcher voice, it was like so, like that took me out of the mood completely.
I don't know. I was scared. Also, what's her name is in that movie with crap. It's like these 2 actors that I love. Did anybody watch BoJack Horseman?
No.
Oh gosh darn it, you can't help me. But anyway, it's just 2 actors that I absolutely love, and one of them's in. You know what? Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna Google it.
Well, Jennifer Coolidge is in it.
Yes. Wait, Jennifer Cool. Yeah. Hold on. It's gonna bother me if I don't find this out right this second. Just kidding. I can't do 2 things at once. It's the guy. He was in that TV show with Michael J. Fox.
Bobby Cannavale.
Yeah. Oh no. Him as well. He was in. He was the mayor of New York.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of was it Richard Kind?
I guess so. But anyway, but I love them. They're great. I thought they were really good. I thought the premise was a very interesting premise, as well as I didn't like when I learned the whole backstory of they never moved into the house. That I could deal without. But like just the thought of that was pretty cool. And the fact that the whole like meme of like, oh, why didn't you just put a camera in the mailbox kind of deal got me. But I don't know. I just thought it was different. They're not going to, there's no way they're going to do a second season.
They are. They renewed it already.
They should just.
You're going to have to watch it. You're going to have to watch it again to give the report to Mike.
Because I mean, like Stanko, like there's at one point where they get the letters from like the threatening letters about this person who's the watcher who apparently watches this house, and like they do this really ridiculous voice. It's like sort of like they do it. It's sort of like if you ever seen like they try and scramble a voice to make it like unrecognizable. Yeah. You're like, I am the watcher. I am watching your. Like I'm like this is come on. Like can't we just have Bobby kind of like just look at the letter? Don't need the creepy watcher voice. It makes no sense.
I didn't watch it. My fiance said she couldn't finish the first episode. She thought it was so bad. So she said, don't watch it. Yeah. I trust her. She knows my taste. She's like, you would hate it. And I was like, great.
I agree. You would hate
I agree. You would hate it. But like, I don't know.
Now that makes me want to watch it to hate watch it, just to absolutely rip it apart.
Yeah,
I got to get to like Dahmer first before I get to that.
Oh, Dahmer. I forgot that even came out.
Yeah.
Damn, see what I mean? Like my brain is full of, there's so many things that came out this year. And I've ingested so much in such a short amount of time. Like there were so many TV shows that came out this year.
Yeah, Dahmer's the one Netflix one that I didn't get to. More so than Stranger Things. I will want to watch Dahmer before I watch like Stranger Things or anything.
Stranger Things for season 4.
That's my next Netflix one.
I knew I was forgetting something. I told you guys my brain was like thinking of something that I could not remember.
And Stanko, I will say that the watcher like one night with like a 12-pack of beer. That's a Stanko stance blog post like waiting to happen.
Yeah, just give me on an edible with a couple glasses of whiskey, and I'll just go to town shredding it.
Yeah, because you're like, what the hell am I watching at certain points?
Maybe you'll be scared until you see my DeChicos episode 4.
I don't get scared too easy, so
I get so scared so easily. I was scared in Wednesday. Are you kidding me?
Okay,
I'm such a baby.
All right, I'll throw my top 5 out here. A couple we've already mentioned. Your Stranger Things, Glass Onions in there. Umbrella Academy season 3 did land with me, so I did have that in my top 5 here. A couple other ones here. Stanko, have you ever heard of 1899 on Netflix?
I've heard of it, yes.
Did you watch Dark on Netflix?
No, because it was in German subtitles, and I have a hard time sitting still for an hour, so I haven't been able to watch it.
1899 is phenomenal. It's like
right. I heard it's from the same makers as Dark, right?
Same people made Dark.
Right. It's the same. I get Dark. I've only heard good things. People loved it. Like people who watched it were obsessed with it.
Yeah, I just finished 1899 like 2 days ago. It was made my top 5 like on the last second here. Number 5 is like a sort of a tie between The Hustle, which is the Adam Sandler movie where he's the basketball scout and they have Juancho Hernan Gomez, the player he finds.
That's I swore that was 2021.
Yeah, that was in this year. I also will throw in here. You ever watch the Will Arnett show Murderville?
I've heard unbelievable things about this show. It is on my Instagram nonstop of these people cracking. I might watch it because I love seeing comedians crack, and it seems like that's all the show is.
It is so funny. Basically, this ridiculous, like you have to basically like escape room mystery thing with like Will Arnett brings in is playing a character. There's a bunch of actors playing characters, and then they bring in the celebrity of the week to sort of solve the crime with them. I think one episode was Marshawn Lynch, Ken Jeong was in one, and then like they're just doing all these ridiculous things trying to make these guys crack, and it's just hysterical. So like
the best one I saw was he's telling 3 different cops or whatever. Pete Davidson was one of the guests, and like you give the box to somebody that you think murdered the person, and they just none of them do the right thing, and it ends up being they give it. Someone says they committed suicide. The other says Will Arnett's character did it. Like I watched that scene. It was 5 minutes long. I know nothing else about the story, but I was cracking up. And so I maybe got to give this show a shot because
come on,
Stanko, that's it. That's it. It's the 5-minute snippets. I can't watch more than one episode. I can't do it. I don't know what it is. I love Will Arnett. I love his voice. I know that's weird, but like I enjoy him as a comedian, but I can't watch that show. Not even a little bit.
All right. So let's wrap up Netflix here. Let's go on to the big franchise comparison here because we'll kind of take DC out. They already did them this year in terms of like Marvel or Star Wars. Sam, who do you think had the better year?
Star Wars, I was completely upset with Marvel this year, and I don't know if I want to see anything but Black Panther 2 in the future, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, Sam is out on Marvel. I will say Marvel kind of is very disappointing this year because the shows all kind of sucked for the most part. Like the Doctor Strange is very meh. Thor 4 was disappointment because they basically copied and pasted Ragnarok and then into a new movie. It didn't work as well. Black Panther was good. I'll give them that. And the Guardians Holiday Special was okay. Star Wars though was I think the winner because Andor I think has a far more lasting impact than anything that Marvel put out this year.
Yeah, Andor really saved Star Wars, and I feel like really brought up some production value and everything for between the two.
Stanko, since I know you watched all three, watched the first two shows here, like who blew it worse here, Boba Fett or Obi-Wan Kenobi?
That's tough. My gut reaction was Obi-Wan. You heard me say Obi-Wan.
Yeah. And when you thought, I said Boba, you thought about it.
I did, but Boba Fett, I didn't necessarily expect to be good. It was still worse than I thought, but I didn't go in thinking it was going to blow my socks off. I expected Obi-Wan Kenobi to fucking bring me back to my childhood and make me love Star Wars again, like The Force Awakens did. And it didn't. There are scenes that were really cool. When Darth Vader's kicking ass, it's great, but the story still sucked. The story was still truncated. It should have been, frankly, 12 episodes drawn out with better characters. And guess what? Cast better child actors, too. There were so many problems wrong with Obi-Wan Kenobi when I expected it to be good. So maybe it is punished by my own expectations, but I would say Obi-Wan Kenobi was a bigger disappointment for me.
Yeah,
using that though, you said there were moments in Obi-Wan Kenobi. There are no moments in Boba Fett where I'm like, oh, awesome, Boba Fett, this is a great moment. Meanwhile, like Obi-Wan with the whole soliloquy with Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker, like Anakin's no longer here. Like that was huge. That was a great scene. I can't give you a great scene in Boba Fett. I could not.
What about the Mandalorian? Because he was in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say the two episodes without Boba Fett were dope in the book of Boba Fett.
That kind of like, excludes Boba Fett from the whole, conversation. It's the Mandalorian show.
And and Stanko, I do have a clip on the soundboard from the Sky Guys podcast. I've said during our Sky Guys hospital, this is gonna be a drop now. I'm gonna use on our show for some moments on this show. This is, I think, exactly what's wrong with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and this is from our good friend Pete.
The Empire are a bunch of fucking idiots.
Pete with the truth.
It's a great it's a great phrase, and he's right. They made so many stupid decisions in that show, and a lot of I was disappointed by it. I really was.
That's a big positive for Andor. The Empire is not idiotic in Andor. Also, the Empire actually is competent.
Right. When you have a good bad guy, things matter. I'm out on Marvel. There's just too much. I backed out after Endgame. It was too much. Didn't like the initial shows. I'm out. Star Wars. I love Star Wars from my childhood, but again, been disappointed by the shows and the movies. So Andor hopefully gets me back in. Hopefully it's a hook and I'm back eating the bait. But again, they've burned me so bad over the past couple of years that I'm not quite nibbling as eagerly as I once was.
I mean, all the problems Obi-Wan Kenobi, I could tell you summed up here. I mean, episode 4, I think the one Alex Rosano came on, fill in for our friend Nick, like when they were running around the Inquisitor base and like the Empire was completely incompetent trying to stop them. Like I was like, okay, come on, what are we doing here?
No, and then there's the whole rebels escaping too, and this dumbass plan to blow the doors open. Like it again, Empire, stupid. Agreed.
Yeah, like Leia the electrician.
She is such a bad actress. I don't know the kid's name. I will not learn the kid's name because the kid should never act again. I'm sorry. I watched like the hour-long documentary too about the making of the return of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Ewan McGregor's like, it was great to work with her. I didn't really know her before, but we learned to enjoy the characters together and shit. I was like, Ewan, you should have known what the first time you saw her to boot her out the fucking starship, send her into hyperspace, and then hire somebody else new again. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, right. So so Star Wars gets a win from us. And now we're going to go on to the best of the rest here. So like in terms of TV shows, so like let's go on with 3 that were not in HBO or Netflix that you are really invested in here. I'll throw my 3 out first since I came up this topic here. Season 2 of Only Murders in the Building, I felt like was my favorite non HBO Netflix property here. Andor obviously falls in that category as well. And Bel Air on Peacock, I thought was really good.
Oh, okay.
That.
Yeah, I love Bel Air. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Interesting. I haven't heard many people talk about it, but neither good nor bad. So I'm curious. I'm curious to hear you liked it. I never watched the original show, so I'm glad that you liked it. That they brought it back.
Wait, you haven't watched Fresh Prince of Bel Air?
Damn, I grew up without cable. I didn't watch Nickelodeon, Disney, Cartoon Network.
Barely got away with anything but channels.
I have never seen a full episode of Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I can say that with my life.
All right, well, it's a good one to say for a rainy day.
Yeah. Bel Air, the act they make it more dramatic, and they did a really good job casting it. The actors in that show are all like very good, and the kid they got to play young Will is very good.
Is that Peacock?
Yes, Peacock.
Gotcha.
Honorable mention for me is like the How I Met Your Father. Like I know How I Met Your Mother burned me there, but like the new they is from the people who made This Is Us, so they need to have a better idea what they're doing here. They already solved their problem of like we're not going to screw up the reveal at the end, because the basically the twist of the pilot is basically like, oh, like the father's at this party that I went to, not like, oh, this is your Aunt Robin. They didn't box themselves in the corners. They just said like, oh, here's this party, like three of the main characters, there's a bunch of like 50 other people, so they want to cast somebody else. Like, oh, okay, like you were at the party, they didn't see you the first episode.
Yeah, that was good. I cannot wait for season 2.
Coming soon, January 24th is season 2.
Yeah, I'm like so pumped for that. But you know, I think Hilary Duff, I love her anyway, just side note. But I thought she did a really great job as Sophie.
Yeah, I think she did too. She had a fun year. So Sam, your top 3 outside of the HBO Network.
You stole Andor and you stole How I Met Your Father from me, but that's okay. I have a few more. I enjoyed The Patient with Steve Carell and Bill. This is my problem with actors. Bill Weasley from Harry Potter. I will refuse to learn his name. I think his name is also Sam, but whatever.
Hall Gleason.
Oh, wait, you said Donald?
Dom Hall.
Who the hell is Sam? Like, where am I getting that from? Whatever. Maybe I'm just projecting myself into him, which is terrible because he's a killer. But so The Patient was really good. I didn't give anything away with that spoiler. I really enjoyed Abbott Elementary. I don't know if anybody has seen that. That is hilarious. That show is amazing.
The only broadcast show to make the cut here so far.
Hell yeah. And they deserve it. They deserve all the accolades. I think it's great. It's funny. It's entertaining. It's like, you know, like a 20 minute show. Easy, simple, in and out. And you know what? I jumped on the Yellowstone train. And
did you?
Yeah, I did. Who knew that I would enjoy that show? But it was very entertaining. It's a little dramatic. I'm also dramatic, as everyone knows here. But like, I think it's fun. I binged during the season when I would have my in time would be 2 p.m. I'd wake up at like 8 a.m. and watch a couple episodes. But now I'm in this season. We're in like next week's the winter season finale. But I'm really enjoying this season.
You just like watching the hunky men in flannel ride around on horses.
Rip. I love Rip. I love that guy. He's a cool dude. I also low-key do not like Kevin Costner. I don't know what it is. He's another person. His face, I just want to hit it. But you know what? I'm living with it. So what I'm saying is Tom Cruise, he could change my mind, but it has to be a really great movie. If
and he needs to put on a cowboy hat and ride a horse.
I'm not big into cowboys, but it's just interesting because one, it's a very beautiful state. Also, the woman who plays Beth is in Pride and Prejudice, which is my favorite movie. So maybe there's that as well. It's like a very interesting storyline, I guess.
All right.
Again, super dramatic, like Grey's Anatomy dramatic, just Yellowstone.
All right. So Stanko, you want to round us out here? Give me your top shows that were not on either of those things.
Yeah, we already talked about Rings of Power. That's definitely on my 3. Next one's from Hulu, a movie called Prey, the prequel to Predator. This movie kicked so much ass. This is the most fun I had sitting on a couch watching a movie this year because it came out on streaming. I watched it the day it came out and it blew my expectations out of the water. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, and I would call it one of the best. It was awesome. And then There's probably a tie for this third spot, so I'll mention both really quick. Disney Plus will go Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. Awesome animated movie. It's an animated movie that looks like it's made for kids, but it's actually made for adults, and it's freaking hilarious. Loved every second of it. And then The Black Phone on Peacock, original horror movie that I liked quite a bit as well. Ethan Hawke doing his thing. Movie very interesting visually, which grabbed me. But top three would probably be Rings of Power on Amazon Prime, Prey on Hulu, and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers on Disney Plus.
Expecting. And
the Peripheral did not make the cut.
No, because I haven't watched the last two episodes. It's been 3 weeks and I haven't watched the last two episodes, whatever it is. I've been stuck on episode 7 and 8 and I haven't gotten to finishing it yet.
To be fair, I'm on 7. I have one left as well. It's like it does not grab us.
Again, you might still finish before me because I was churning through at a consistent rate, and then I got, I don't know, movie, whatever, I don't know, but I need to finish it.
Of the 6 you've seen, would it make the cut if you kept up the quality of the last 2?
No.
Okay. That's confirming that here, because it's from the makers of Westeros. They're having a rough run over there.
Again, it's good, but when I look at Amazon Prime stuff, Rings of Power blows everything out of the water.
Also, did anybody watch the League of Their Own show on Amazon Prime?
I refuse.
I haven't finished it, but I'm like in between, and I was not expecting that that plot line, basically, the whole show.
Yeah, I feel like they were like, I could see a lot of reasons why people do not like it. There's certain audience that will not appreciate this show.
Yes, it's not like the movie at all. And I feel like I was expecting like the movie just retold into like TV, which was, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm only like 3 episodes in.
Yeah. Okay, so that's something we'll keep an eye on here in terms of now. Go to Stanko here first. Top 5 movies of the year.
I'm going to preface this by saying these are my favorite and not the best, because I have not seen every award-worthy movie this year yet. So I'm still working through all the potential award winners and stuff. So these are strictly my 5 favorite as of this moment in time at 9:37 p.m. on Wednesday, December 28th. Number 1 should be number 1 in everyone's hearts, and that's Top Gun Maverick. We already talked about it. I will not continue to go on. On this list, then not in any order particularly, is Prey, as I mentioned. Fire Island is the best romantic comedy I've seen this year. It's about a gay couple, and frankly, a bunch of gay friends who go out to Fire Island, and it follows them around on personal journeys. And I watched this on vacation while Emma was sick, and I was crying at the kitchen table at our Airbnb. So it got me. It struck me in the heart. Then we have The Northman, which is Robert Eggers' Peacock. I love this movie. I wish it was getting more award praise, but it's not. But I thought this was beautiful and violent and absolutely heartbreaking Shakespearean tale set in Viking land. And then number 5 is Nope, because Jordan Peele really can't go wrong. Jordan Peele knows how to make a thriller. I don't care if it wasn't what people was expecting, because what Jordan Peele put out there deserves to be praised for what it is, because he made Jaws in the sky look beautiful, make it have a societal impact. It was absolutely fascinating. So those would be my top 5 favorite movies of the year thus far.
All right, Sam, you want to give me your top 5?
I'm gonna throw Glass Onion since I haven't talked about it yet. My family included did not enjoy it, and I just didn't understand why. I didn't think it was a bad sequel. Again, it's not as good as the first one. I really like Don't Call Me Darling. I understand there was a whole mess around, the release and everything, but it was a pretty good movie. I didn't expect the ending. Maybe I'm just being naive. Now this is where I get worried about, I'm going to say, but that's, what was that, 2?
Yeah, that's 2.
2. I thought, now I'm not saying it's the best, but I enjoyed Matilda.
I heard only good things about Matilda. I've heard only good things.
I was not expecting that. I was sitting here like, that's not that bad. And I want to save it for last, but I can't. And it's because my brain's focusing on my pronunciation. The Banshees of Inisherin or whatever.
Inisherin, yeah.
That movie made me cry on a Sunday morning at 9:30 in the morning, because that messed me up big time. When I say I was very affected by it. And you know what? I can't. Oh my god, this is my problem. Like I said, I've ingested just so much media over the past couple of weeks. But I also really enjoyed Spirited. Sorry that my brain's focusing on that.
Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell, and Apple TV Plus original movie.
Saying it was an amazing production, but I enjoyed myself, and I feel like we need to like take into account more things we enjoy. Again, I have not hit our hard-hitting, Oscar buzzing movies like the Feldmans or
Fableman, yeah.
Yeah, the one with about what's his face?
Spielberg.
Yeah, exactly. So like I haven't hit those yet because that, I saved that a little closer to Oscars. But I'm telling you, that Banshee movie, if you can look past, it's a little, there's some hyperbole kind of feelings in there. Holy moly, is that it's a very, very deep movie. And if you hate it, my bad. But like, if you can just like see it as a deeper meaning, holy crap.
All right, I'll throw my 5 out there. I'll throw out some other big notable movies that they feel like I want to discuss that they're not going to come up here. So obviously, I agree on Top Gun Maverick is number 1. I'm with Stanko on that one, the best movie of the year by far. Glass Onion's on the list also. I think it is my top 5 for the year because again, I don't feel like I watched a lot of great movies this year. I just feel like I might up getting a lot of like garbage mixed in here. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Sam, have you seen that movie?
No, it's on my list. It is on there. I tried to seen it before we did our podcast. I did not. That's my big failure number 1 of 2022.
Ditto.
That's my number 2 movie of the year. Like literally,
can't wait for that to watch
like,
that.
Everybody complain about how Doctor Strange like bots the multiverse. That is a far better multiverse movie than it has any right to be. Like, and Michelle Yeoh is like an outstanding lead actress in that movie.
Ugh, I'm really looking forward to it. Like you have no idea. Like that is on my thing. And I'll wait till you're finished. But
okay, yeah, that's up there. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is on the top 5, and like this is surprising. I expect it to be as good as it was. I went to it late, but like the emotion in the movie, the performances are great. Angela Bassett might actually be a Best Supporting Actress candidate for her performance in the movie as Queen Ramonda. They do a good job, like letting the actors have expressed the grief of like losing Chadwick Boseman in the story as well. And there's one nitpicky thing that I'm annoyed with I had in the movie because sort of connecting this, but like the actual core characters like were really, really well done. And surprised that I could not bring the Batman into this.
It's very, very good. It's in my probably top 10, but in terms of top 5, it's definitely on that third tier, that top 10. Like it doesn't crack the same. It's very, very good. I think watching it again, the fact that it has 4 endings and it's probably 20 minutes too long on a rewatch, the ending drags a bit, and I wish it didn't.
Yeah. All right, so those are some of the ones. So a couple ones I want to throw out here, obviously, in terms of stuff here. Anybody watch Sonic the Hedgehog 2 this year?
I have not yet, but it is on Amazon Prime and it's on downloaded on my phone. So next train ride or soon it is happening.
It was fun. I will say that they did a good job with that one.
Isn't that like Jim Carrey's like retirement film? Apparently,
allegedly, he has not decided if he's retiring.
I liked him in the first one.
He's good in the second one too.
Great.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Like literally one of my all-time favorite actors. It just makes me laugh. And I hope it makes everybody else laugh. That might be his retirement film. For somebody who gave us the Truman Show and everything, like, and The Grinch. I know that's not like a amazing acted movie, but I also would like to say I wanted to watch The Whale. I had a hard time illegally finding it. And I had a hard time finding a movie theater that was showing it. So I just want to put that out there that I wanted to see The Whale before tonight's podcast. I just want to let that be known. Okay.
Stanko, thoughts on Elvis?
I think Austin Butler was phenomenal. But in terms of a general movie overall, the movie did not need to be nearly 3 hours long. The beginning was not great. The middle was not, the ending was not great. I thought the middle was good. And dare I say, don't think Tom Hanks was very good. Every time he was on the screen and Elvis wasn't, I was very bummed out. So good, not great. I gave it a B. It's only going to get consideration for lead actor for me for Oscars. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Sam, did you want to weigh in on Fantastic Beasts 3?
Oh, that was a terrible movie.
It sucked.
Just literally I watched it because I'm a Harry Potter fan at heart, but holy moly, I was like, this is just getting worse. They just should stop it now.
I think that killed.
They should have stopped it before the freaking movie. They released the movie. They should have said, "Oops, made a mistake. Should never release this."
It should have gotten the Batgirl treatment.
Truly, I mean, like the guy who played Grindelwald did a good job, and I thought he did better than Johnny Depp. Like, now this is not me being biased. Like, I never thought Johnny Depp should have been in the other movies. But I don't know. I'm just, as a Harry Potter fan, is just like very upset. I never liked Fantastic Beasts. I didn't like the other two movies either.
The first one was okay in my opinion. They did not need to do more than that.
No, I just feel like they tried to revamp something that should have just stayed closed. I mean, going back, I know that they had the reunion this year, which I didn't even include that in my favorite things because I wasn't really excited about said reunion, and I'm the biggest Harry Potter fan going.
Yeah, because Stanko, I do think that movie killed the franchise for a little bit.
I definitely for a little bit. There's going to be a hiatus. They still have the amusement parks and stuff, so it's not going away. But in terms of revisioning what the entire franchise is going to be, they need to come up with something fresh and well thought out because you could tell that they're rewriting every single one of those Fantastic Beasts movies as they came out. And there's Newt Scamander was the main guy in the first one. By the third one, he's the sixth most important character, if that. Like nobody gives a flying crap about Newt Scamander. So it was the third one was bad. And also we need to look up a 25-minute video to recap the first two movies in order to understand what's happening in the third.
Not good.
And then the third one feels rushed because they're trying to wrap up everything because it was supposed to be more than 3 movies. Like it was
5.
Yeah, and it was terrible. I mean, I didn't know that we were gonna be making references to like Nazi Germany and taking over governor power and stuff like that. Like that's crazy for a Harry Potter movie to be rushing into that like that. Bad.
Yeah, I mean,
J.K. Rowling is just like, she's also canceled. I feel like they were anticipating that in between everything, like the Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts. So I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they need to stop making new Harry Potter things for at least a decade.
The only thing I know is coming is they have the open world video game coming out in February. It's supposedly
had some terrible feedback. The game is good, but if you really focus on what it is, it has some terrible qualities to it.
Yeah.
And it's like how we treat people, which is terrible that we still have to have this discussion in 2022.
Yeah, it's the only Harry Potter product on tap right now. Another movie I want to throw out here. Stanko, did you follow the Morbius saga?
Oh, I watched Morbius. I did. It was Morbid time or whatever the frick, wherever the frick the phrase was. Listen, I watched this movie on a plane. I knew it was going to be bad. It was still really bad. I was able to laugh at it though. So that's why it's one of the worst movies I saw this year. But in terms of entertaining, I was entertained with how bad it was. I'll give it that. I knew what I was getting into.
And I think the hysterical thing about this, Sam, is the fact that they saw It's Morbid Time was trending on Twitter. Like, great, we put the movie back out. They made no more money.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was
good job, internet.
Random.
Good job.
Yeah, no, that was such an oversight. But looking back, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, It's Morbid Time definitely is going up there as a big whiff for Sony. Who Sony has the rights for that, right?
Yep, that was on my list of whiffs.
Yeah, Morbius here. Sam, did you watch Lightyear at all?
I did not enjoy it, and I was really looking forward to that movie, to be completely honest, and I couldn't finish it.
Yeah, Stanko and I talked about this in our summer movie preview podcast. He said this would be very, very mid, and I think we were right on that.
I would agree with you. You're reading off my whiff list, Mike. I mean, come on, Lightyear whiff for me as well.
And Stanko, last I'll throw out to you here. Jurassic World Dominion made a crap ton of money. Was any good?
No, it sucked. Jesus Christ. It's better than Forbidden Kingdom. I'll give you that, but it was still really bad. They wasted nostalgia again. And a really bad, overbloated action movie that it probably be nominated for best visual effects, but I don't even think the visual effects were that good. So, garbage.
Yeah, and a positive note also here I'll throw out in terms of you saw Avatar. So you were the only one that got to it before the time we recorded here. So give me the impression. Was it worth a 13-year wait?
James Cameron, talk your shit, man, because you backed that shit up. Jesus Christ. He delivers, folks. I don't care. I don't care if he's an asshole. I don't care if he's a dick. But guess what? He's really good at making freaking movies, man. This movie is a better story. Visual effects are out of this world, and it's the action that is so good in this movie. He took it to another notch with Aliens, with Sigourney Weaver in that sequel. He took it to another level with Terminator 2 with the action. He does the same thing here with Avatar: The Way of Water. That is the biggest jump up for me. I gave it an A- in my top 10 movies of the year, just because, again, as a movie theater experience, it's probably number 2 this year compared to Top Gun Maverick. Just visual eyeball appeal.
Yeah, that's for sure here. So now let's go to like 2 more things here. Is like the whiffs. What were the big misses this year? Sam, I'll let you go first on this one.
Oh my god, there were so many whiffs. Obi-Wan was probably my biggest whiff. I'm not even gonna talk about Boba Fett because, whatever. And I have a personal vendetta against Doctor Strange in the Multiverse. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting more than that. The fact that they canceled out an entire television show, they took that plot line and said, oh, just kidding, that didn't happen, like, whatever. I was like, this was the biggest waste of my time. Thank God I watched it on Disney Plus, but I don't know what it is, but I'm just very upset about it. I'm still upset about it, and that came out in May, and it is now December, and I'm upset. Like, it had such a chance to bring different things together, and it completely failed. Completely.
Yeah, that was not a good setup here. I mean, like there was this space in the first movie after Spider-Man where Spider-Man gives you the tease of the multiverse, and you had all different Spider-Man coming. Oh, this could be fun. Then they visit like 2 universes the whole movie. Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, and it's just the fact that they just destroyed character development in so many people.
Yeah, especially like Elizabeth Olsen should have a lot of beef for how her character was handled in that movie.
Yeah, exactly. I know that everything's, there's so many more in-depth things in there, but, you had the whole Fantastic Four kind of deal going in, and, Xavier and everything, like, from X-Men, but, like, my God, like, it was just so stupid. Everything about that movie was so stupid.
Yeah, it was not handled very well here. Stanko, your big whiffs.
Well, Will Smith didn't miss on his slap, so he doesn't get in the whiff category. I had Ticketmaster. I had Army Hammer trying to popularize cannibalism with his Instagram DMs, so that's a whiff. Lightyear, I had Beanie Feldstein with the Funny Girl Broadway musical drama. That's a big whiff. But I think the 2 that stick out for me, Bob Chapek's short run as CEO with Disney, because now he's out. He was there for 2 years, got re-upped, and then was like, we don't want you anymore. He's gone. And then the movie Bros. The whiff was their marketing, because this movie I was interested in seeing. I was like, I like everyone involved in this. And then they went around saying that if you don't see this movie, you don't support gay people. And I was like, you suck that this is what you're characterizing this movie as, a revolutionary culture shaping moment rather than just what would be a good rom-com. So that's what's going to be the biggest whiff for me, is Billy Eichner thinking that he can change the world with a gay romantic comedy, which by all rights has gotten good reviews, but the way they approach the marketing and telling people about it, and then after it didn't do well at the box office, bashing people, that's the biggest whiff of 2022 for me. Because right now that movie's on my back burner after I was excited for it. Now I'll wait till whenever.
I'll add a couple more here we have not discussed yet. Thor: Love and Thunder was a whiff because, again, like, such a big high bringing the Taika and Hemsworth duo here, and then they tried to run back the Ragnarok stuff. Like, it made no sense because, like, the stuff with Christian Bale's character, Christian Bale acted very well in that movie. It was such a total mismatch that went on the rest of the movie, where he was trying to do haha very funny the whole way through. It didn't work. They wasted Natalie Portman coming back. That was number 1 for me. And Netflix in general released a lot of big duds. I feel like there were a lot of things that had like big star power, like Stanko mentioned. Like the Adam Project was a whiff. The Gray Man was a whiff. The Pentaveret with the Mike Myers series was god awful. Like the Kristen Bell series was god awful. Like there's just so many things that had this like big stars. They basically went with the Red Notice model with a bunch of different properties, and they all.
That movie sucked. God damn it.
The sequel's coming next year, I'm sure.
I know, Mike. I don't need to be happy about it.
Yeah. You don't know if you have that. Let's get to the end here. So a couple of things here. Number 1, MVP of the pop culture in 2022 here. I'll let you start this, Stanko.
I'm doing this partly because I believe it, but also partly to tell Sam, fuck you, you're wrong.
Tom Cruise?
The MVP is Tom Cruise.
Oh my God, get out.
Tom Cruise saved America with Top Gun Maverick. He saved cinema He saved the world. He saved Kenny Loggins' career in Spotify charts. Tom Cruise is the MVP of 2022. You make the biggest movie since Endgame. You're going to outgross James Cameron's Avatar: The Way of Water, which his original was the highest grossing movie of all time. Top Gun Maverick already broke Paramount Plus streaming records for the first day it was put out too. Top Gun Maverick is an absolute weapon of a movie, and the person wielding that weapon is Tom Cruise. So Tom Cruise is my MVP of pop culture in 2022.
Sam, who's your MVP of the year?
My MVP is more of a generalized. It is like bringing retro things back, like good old Tom Cruise, like the Addams Family. Like, we're just bringing old things and making them new, because I think that that's what made our pop culture this year a little more exciting than normal. Now, I'm not giving Tom Cruise credit, but he is in there in changing 2022, which I will give credit when credit is due in that aspect. Not like I liked it, but here we are. Poor Kenny. But like, I like how you're like, Tom Cruise saved Kenny Loggins' career, which is probably not wrong, but it's kind of sad thinking about it. Like, it's sitting with me a little heavy right now.
I'm with Stanko. It's Tom Cruise. Like, Tom Cruise made
Let's
the
go!
I hate that
We
guy.
did not talk before this podcast. We did not talk about it. We did not.
No, like literally, like, no one had a better year than Tom Cruise did.
I hope you know that you both picking Tom Cruise makes me hate him more. Fueling my anger more. I'm gonna go to sleep tonight like how can I destroy Tom Cruise? Not really, but like.
All right, let's go ahead. Since you're angry now, Sam, give me your LVP of the year.
LVP is good old Marvel. If you asked me 3 years ago, would I ever pick this as my like LVP? I'd be like, oh my God, future Sam, you're crazy. But no, I'm not crazy. They are falling into a Star Wars terror pit where it's not doing well. It's just going around the toilet. They really need to get their direction, change everything, drop everything that they're doing, and just go in a different direction, because I'm petrified. I was so excited, when Marvel came out with Iron Man and like Captain America, like we had a nice linear idea, and now it's just like throw up everywhere. It's terrible.
It's bad when they had to do, like, when they didn't have a phase, like, and then they sort of had phase 4 going on forever, and then they had a press conference in August, and then the kind of oh, phase 4 is ending at the end of this year. Here's all the fun stuff we're doing. So like they had to sort of like, wait, there is a plan.
Well, like, I don't even believe them. I think that's like one of those lies you tell yourself. Like, you're like, I'm fine, when you're not okay. Like, that's exactly what it is. Like, they're not okay, and they don't even know how to fix the hemorrhage, like the ginormous cut to the aorta.
Yeah, it's like, make less stuff. That would be the easy answer for me.
Big time. And I totally agree.
All right. So my LVP is, I'm giving it to Elon Musk. Because I mean, like he had no business diving into the Twitter cesspool here, and now he's made himself look like stupider every day he's on there. So Elon Musk, a guy who we thought was like, he's the guy who invented space, who has the SpaceX guy, he has Tesla, and then he goes on Twitter with his mouth, and we realize, oh, this guy's a complete moron. It's happened to be boring the money. So he's the LVP of the year for me.
How's our Twitter update? Are we still?
It is back.
It's back.
It's back.
When I tell you, I mean, when I found out this man believes that we're all living in a simulation, it made so much more sense of who he was as a person. I'm like, of course you think we're in a simulation. You're a rich bitch with a bunch of freaking money. Of course you think life's perfect and it's a simulation. What about everybody else that suffers? Like, you know what I mean? Like, more power to you, have money, whatever, not like hating on you. But like, Jesus Christ, like, you're a little delusional if you think we're like living in the Matrix.
Yeah, so Stanko, wrap up the LVPs.
Speaking of delusional, my LVP is Kanye West. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. We already touched on it a little bit. But speaking of delusional and people who are in their own world, I think Kanye West might be joining Elon Musk in that department.
Yeah. I would give an honorable mention on Netflix, because I feel like they're sort of like, they're cracking on the password sharing, not putting out as much good content, but they're in trouble.
They are in trouble.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead to 2023 here. So, Stanko, what are some movies you're looking forward to next year?
Oh, well, we got the bombastic double feature same day release of Oppenheimer and Barbie. Both trailers came out last week, and guess what? I'm excited for both these movies, man. Both these movies are going to be incredible. I mentioned Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. We got Indiana Jones also coming out in the summer as well. So action adventure on lock. End of the year, we're gonna get Dune Part 2. I'll dive deep into the sand and the spice once again. That'll be followed up with some other fun ones like John Wick Chapter 4. I'm excited for. I'm pumped for Magic Mike's Last Dance. Don't care. Love the Magic Mike movies. The first one's an excellent movie. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. You want to throw me in for a fantasy adventure movie with low stakes? I'm all about it. And then movie-wise, we got Creed 3. Oh, excited for Michael B. Jordan kicking ass. And Sam mentioned television shows. I got The Witcher coming back to Netflix. How will they send off Henry Cavill? Very interested in seeing that. And The Last of Us on HBO Max. Those are my two most anticipated shows for this year.
Last of Us is going to be very good. I'm very excited about that.
I am so stoked, man. I love those video games. God, please be a good TV show.
Yeah, so I'll mention here, I'll throw in a couple. I'll throw Sam first here. What are you looking forward to in 2023?
Listen, I enjoy being on this planet Earth, but what 2022 taught me was I'm not looking forward to anything. Everything that I loved has let me down. So you know what? I'm looking forward to nothing. I'm just going to take each day as it comes and each show and each movie as it comes and then grading it on there. But low-key really excited for Witcher. I'm really kind of nervous about it. But like other than that, I feel like every year I go on the podcast end of year. I'm like, I'm looking forward to this. And then I'm eating my words by the end of the year. So I don't want to do that this year. I'm starting my New Year's resolution early by not eating my words. So you know what? I'm not looking forward to anything, Mike. There's your hot take.
You're going to wait and see what happens.
Exactly.
All right. I'll add to the movie pile here. I just didn't know. I'll read out the Marvel list for next year. See what they have on tap here. So they have Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania with Sam's favorite actor Bill Murray in it.
So excited. I love it. Oh, my brother got me this fun coaster, everyone, because he knows that I love Bill Murray. So I have him at all times right here.
Yeah. Guardians 3, the last James Gunn Guardians, is next year. The Marvels is next year, and Blade is supposed to be next year. I don't think they moved it back though.
There's no way Blade comes out next year with all those script rewrites. No way.
I'll also add here the DC stuff. Shazam: Fury of the Gods, that's coming here. Stank, I feel like everybody's gonna go see The Flash just because Ezra Miller is such a train wreck.
I am right there with you. And imagine the conundrum that they're going to be in if the movie's actually good.
It makes a lot of money.
Right. Imagine how much of a pickle they'll be in terms of, ooh, there's a big pile of money. Ooh, there's a sense of a moral compass. What do we do here?
They're going to pick the money. It's terrible, but they're going to pick it.
Yeah, they're going to be Scrooge McDuck diving into the pile of money there.
Yeah, it's a great call.
Yeah, that's in there. And Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, that's also on tap for the end of the year, which should be the last one Momoa arrives in, for us, because he's really good in that role.
Yeah, I like him as Aquaman. I actually like the first Aquaman movie much more so than I thought. So I'm excited for the sequel.
I'm also with you on Creed 3 and John Wick Chapter 4. Those are a lot of fun here. And Stan, I'm surprised you not mentioned Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Again, I'm just kind of marveled out. I know it's not like in that whole thing, but the idea of the multiple dimensions and all that stuff, keeping track of all those different Spider-Man, gonna be honest, is stressing me out a little bit. And I know going into that movie, I am not going to be able to appreciate it as somebody who has stood and studied it all and stayed up to date with all the connections and stuff. So I will probably wait till that's streaming and I will be visualized by the animation style. But man, that first Spider-Man was so good. How are they going to top it with this one? With all these more characters and stuff? Like, how do you balance all the time between all the characters and also making a heartfelt story where you can follow the arc of one? Yeah. So I don't know.
See, take the Sam page out of the Sam book. Don't get excited for anything. Don't look forward to anything because they're just going to let you down, Stanko. There's my pessimistic take of 2022.
All right. I'll throw us also the show front here. A lot of Star Wars next year. You got season 2 of The Bad Batch starts January 4th. So it's sort of the Sky Guys extended plug here. All the stuff we're covering next year. Season 3 of The Mandalorian is going to be a huge deal.
This is true.
Yeah. And hopefully we're seeing both of you on the Sky Guys podcast to cover an episode of that.
I'll be watching The Mandalorian week by week.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to take away the plot line of like Daddy Mando like saves Grogu baby Yoda like every single time, like brings him somewhere, saves his butt? Because that's like been the past 2 seasons. Do you think this year like they heard enough like little like talkings and they're gonna be like changing it up?
I think they are. I think you've seen any of the trailers that they put out. Like there's like a lot more focus on like Mando's journey to like go back to Mandalore. That seems to be the focus of the season right now.
Man, my fingers are crossed that they stay with that, Mike.
Also on the Star Wars front, Ahsoka is coming this in 2023. The Rosario Dawson, like Star Wars Rebels secret spinoff. That's what I'm calling that show. And then Skeleton Crew with Jude Law is supposed to be at the end of the year.
I don't know anything about that.
It's basically like a coming of age show where like Jude Law basically like helps like 4 teenagers find their way in the New Republic era.
Okay.
We love Jude Law. He's
So he's just doing the Dumbledore Fantastic Beasts, but in Star Wars leading people.
Yes, basically. He's like helping teenagers find their way in the universe.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
so
such a
he's just Dumbledore,
He's Dumbledore
like,
in
leading
Star
them
Wars.
through a tumultuous time where
Yes.
there's a universe that has a magical force in it.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay, is he keeping the beard?
I think I find a screenshot of this. I'll send it to you after the podcast of Jude Law and Skeleton Crew. But like,
Okay, all right.
other ones I'll throw out here. Netflix, the last Mike Flanagan show before he moves to Amazon Prime. The Fall of the House of Usher should be a lot of fun.
Mike Flanagan is going to be helming the new Amazon Prime show, The Gunslinger, based off the Stephen King Dark Tower series. I'm going full nerd on you. That's my favorite book series of all time. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so I'll share the screen real quick here of Jude Law and Skeleton Crew. I gotta delete the thing. This is going on the YouTube version. Mike Phillips on YouTube. I'll mention here, but Stanko, no beard for Jude Law and Skeleton Crew.
No, he's better with the beard.
Missed opportunity.
He's objectively better looking with the beard.
Yeah.
What? He looks so handsome in this picture.
No, you need the little bit of the salt and the pepper. You can't go clean shaven.
You
Our-
let the handsome man be handsome, Stanko.
Our initial theory on Stanko, you watch all Clone Wars, correct?
I did watch all Clone Wars. Yes, I did.
Our initial running joke on Sky is that Jude Law is gonna be Hondo.
I mean, I guess that kind of sort of would work.
It would have been fun, but he's just being Jude Law, basically.
He's
As
just-
Dumbledore.
Just being an attractive dude, leading
Yeah.
some teenagers through an angsty time.
Two other ones I'll mention. Fallout the Usher I mentioned here. I'll also throw out like as a big like Star Trek Next Generation guy. The final season of Picard coming on. They're bringing all the Next Generation cast back for that. It's going to be a lot of fun on some Paramount Plus. And I'm looking forward to. You watch Drive to Survive on Netflix, the Formula One show.
No, but I've heard good things. But there's one coming out about golf.
There's one coming about tennis as well, which I'm excited for.
Oh, okay.
January 13th, Breakpoint on Netflix. So it's basically follows last year's tennis season, which means they got all the drama from Novak in Australia with the vaccine stuff. They got
Novak Djokovic or whatever.
Yeah, Novak Djokovic. They had all the stuff from the US Open, all the crazy there. They follow people throughout the year, so they have a great tennis season. Looking forward to seeing how they handle that.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Maybe you're going to be in the background. Maybe we'll be in the background of the US Open. Who knows? And B-roll.
Yeah, maybe we'll be in B-roll. We were at the Sam and I were at the US Open with two of our friends. So
Did you follow the cameras around? Did you hunt for the camera ops?
we did not know where the camera ops were. So maybe
The swinging camera, which we love. I love that camera.
So that's sort of like a look ahead to 2023. Am I right? You guys are coming on for Pop Culture Party 4 as always. Sam, people will follow you on the Twitter streets as long as it's still functioning by the time this podcast comes out. How can they do that?
I'm at SDEROS6. Don't know why I didn't include my whole last name, but ask 2011 Sam. But that's where you can find me. Or just Google Sam Derosa. You'll either find me or find somebody I'm related to.
All right. Stanko, how can people follow you on social media and keep up with Stanko stance?
Follow me on any social media account at jstanko99. Tweet a bunch of random thoughts. Also, I write a lot at stankosstance.com. Movies, sports, television, what have you.
Absolutely.
I go for a lot of my movie recommendations from that, to be completely honest with everybody.
Yeah, it is a very good source. I do have one more recommendation for Stanko I forgot about from the year of 2022 in the Star Wars realm.
What's that?
Watch Tales of the Jedi. It's very good.
Oh, yes, I've heard good things. Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
that's an honorable mention in the other category. Like, it's really, really good the way they do it. Like the Ahsoka ones, like the first one's not great, but like the Dooku ones are phenomenal.
How are they compared to like the Visions anime that came out a couple years ago on Disney Plus? Was that last year?
It was 2020. I think it was end of 2020 when it came out.
End of 2021. Great. I like that a lot. So
Yeah, this is more Clone War style.
okay. All right. Interesting. I'll definitely check it out because I did hear good things. And I know Visions is coming back too with like another something. So I am excited for that. The little short stories.
Yeah, it's more mature version. It's like a more mature storyline they're giving out than in Clone Wars.
And Clone Wars, frankly, got pretty mature by the end.
Yeah, Dooku stuff is very mature.
Great.
All right, so that's all. Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for letting us yell at Sam about Top Gun Maverick.
I will take any yelling at any time to be on this podcast. So